The idea of encouraging people to play more is not to just double the workload. That doesn't make it any more interesting or any more fun. It doesn't matter how fancy you make the graphics and what you do with them. People, welcome to another edition of that finger tapping frenzy that we all know and love as WWE SuperCard. With me, Big Jim, here at BadLadDad HQ. Now, what a weekend! Royal Rumble weekend. There's only one thing, just one thing that was more arduous and grueling than that 30-man Royal Rumble and the women's Royal Rumble as well. And that was a double dose of Road to Nowhere. Road to Glory, heroic mode. How many of you tried? To get that heroic addition to your Goldberg card? Having done Road to Glory for the first time, did you go and try and do it for the second time? Because I did, and I tell you what, I think I've had enough. I don't think I can face it for about another month. I don't know how you feel after doing it. How do I get on? I'll show you shortly. But really, Road to Glory in itself is quite a monotonous slog. I only got into Titan tier in terms of Road to Glory. Just sneaked into Titan a couple of weeks ago. So I had to +1 the main event cards. So when it got to Goldberg, I was having to +1 for a bit. So that was quite time consuming in itself. But let's go and have a look and see what I managed to do in terms of number 2. A big number 2. It was number 2, all right. So there we have, as you can see, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I would say one advantage, the only advantage I can really think of for doing 2 Road to Glories in a weekend, is you get to power up an awful lot of cards. As you can see, I've already probed my Stone Cold Steve Austin event card. But if we just scroll back, as you can see, I did it. Big Jim did it. It's about 20 minutes to go in the end, so I was pushing it tight. But again, look, he's only a couple of shots off power being fully done, and everything else is done. That, as I say, I guess could be a benefit. I did also get to Pro Bobby Roode. I pulled another this guy. Xavier, so I've got him to do as a pro, whereas he's just lurking at the back. And of course, there was Taker, came out of the second Road to Glory. There's also monster-wise, it was just this is where the monster cards benefited. I had so many to pro. I managed to pro Braun Strowman. I managed to pro Roman Reigns. I managed to pro Shinsuke Nakamura. I managed to pro Kofi Kingston. Managed to pro Big E, managed to pro Rob Van Dam, managed to pro Bray Wyatt. I mean, there's a lot of work gone on here, and I've now got, again, Triple H was given away as one of the cards. I've got Triple H to pro, and I pulled a Kevin Owens. I think that was my login bonus reward. Pretty sure it was the login bonus reward, that. So a lot of work, but do you know what? It's killed me for the game. It's absolutely killed me for the game. I just don't feel like playing it for a couple of days because it's just overkill. And something else I would point out is being a self-employed journalist these days, I deliberately engineered my week so that Thursday and Friday I wasn't too busy. And the weekend I knew I was just kicking around here at BadLadDad HQ with Ninja Boy and his mum. And with Netflix fully employed to distract everyone so I could do a bit of grinding here on the Roads to Glory. Roads to Glory, they need to change the tune. But that's an awful lot of gameplay, and as I say, it was still like 20 minutes from deadline when I finished it. Now I know that you tend to sort of rush it a bit towards the back end when you suddenly realise time's running out. But I just, we've got a team Road to Glory this evening, and I know that half of Team BadLadDad got through it and did it, so well done. I think Stevie did it, Matt did it, Josh did it, obviously I did it. I'm not too sure about the others actually. It was the 4 of us at least have done it. And now to the thought of facing another, I mean, I've already got Kevin Owens, 2 Kevin Owens monster cards, but you're kind of obliged to do it because you want to help out your teammates, because some of them I know will still get some use out of Kevin Owens, but I really could do with just not even facing this game. And That's not what game makers and game developers should be looking for from their followers. They should be looking for people to be excited and wanting to play the game and wanting to do more and wanting to get stuck in. Not going, that was so arduous and monotonous and boring that I just can't face doing it again. I'll tell you something else for free, because this is free, you don't have to pay to watch it. I'll tell you something else for free, is I don't think I'll be doing that again. Yes, it's a nice enhancement for the card, and yes, I've got to take a Titan individual out of it. But it just killed the weekend, and it's killed the last 4 days, to be honest with you. I've barely had a chance to do or play anything else. And video-wise, I've not even made a video. That's how bad it was. In spare moments, I thought, well, even if I set everything up and start trying to record a video, I'm not going to have time to do it. And of course, the old PvPs. I mean, like, look at this. I'm dangling over the relegation zone. Dangling over that relegation zone. I was actually 29th this morning. I managed to just pull myself up a bit in this platinum table I'm in, but again, there's just no attention given to this because of those roads to glory. And I have to say, I don't feel particularly glorious about it, having done it. I mean, it was nice doing it first time round. There was something else as well. I did try and record just one of those last few takes using the iOS onboard recorder on the iPad. And I recorded about 5 minutes, stopped for a bit, went back on and set it to record again, and it looked like it was recording and it didn't. So thanks for that. Thanks for that, Apple. Thanks for that, Cat Daddy. Thanks for that, everybody. So I'm just going to play a couple of games. As you can see, I've already pointed out, I've only got a couple of bits to do on Goldberg, just his power there. And then, as I mentioned, I've got Xavier Woods and Triple H, and I've also got Kevin Owens Monsters to do as well, so I'll come back to those. We'll just play a few games just while I'm idly going on about Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, how many of you, if you've not watched Royal Rumble, by the way, now's the time to just pause or turn off, or just come back to this a bit later, because we're about to talk about it. So if you want to avoid it still, because you've not seen it, this is your opportunity. It's like when they say on the news, here's the football results. If you don't want to know them, leave the room. Well, don't leave the room, it's your room. You're quite welcome to stay. Just pause or go into a different mode on your laptop or your games machine or however you're watching us. Or us. It's only me these days, isn't it? I don't know where that ninja's gone. Yeah, so that weekend just washed all the colour out of my cheeks. Just washed all the colour out of my cheeks. I'm in a very black and white mood today. Very black and white mood. Things aren't always that clear cut. Yeah, Royal Rumble. I have to say that if it had been anybody other than Shinsuke out of the final 3 of Cena, Shinsuke and Roman Reigns, I would not have been happy. I didn't think it was an okay Royal Rumble. It was a bit no big surprises, no great entrances, and also, I mean, Dolph Ziggler comes in at number 30, and it's oh, Zig's back. The whole point of Dolph Ziggler getting ratty with WWE and sort of kind of walking away from them was because he didn't feel he was being used properly, and the amount of opportunities he was getting were fairly limited, and the storylines he was in were fairly mundane. And he's better than that. He's worth more than that. So what do? They bring him in at number 30. They gave him a full 2 minutes. A full 2 minutes in that Royal Rumble ring, and he was gone again. So like, well, what was the point in that? I mean, if you're coming in at number 30 and you've got a bit of an axe to grind, and people want to see you doing more, you would expect him to at least last a bit longer than 2 minutes. Personally, I quite like the idea of Randy Orton winning again, but I didn't have any expectation that would happen. Ninja and myself had a chat beforehand and thought Shinsuke was pretty much nailed on, but there's always that worry when Roman Reigns is hanging around, isn't there? There's always that worry that the big dog isn't going to clear off. But thankfully, Shinsuke won that. And then the Women's Royal Rumble, again, Asuka was one of the better options, but it's a bit predictable. I mean, she's very predictable. She's the unbeaten gal on the circuit. And you'd have quite liked something radical to happen. Again, Ninja was saying, oh, Ronda Rousey could come in. This could be like a big introduction to WWE. Well, we've heard the news, she signed a contract. But yeah, the women's it's the first one, it's historical and all of that. But again, you know, I've seen quite a lot of complimentary tweets. I've seen quite a lot of summaries and quite a lot of roundups saying it was a good Royal Rumble, people enjoyed it and everything. I don't know, it just felt a bit bland to me, and I'll tell you what didn't help. I was obviously, if you work out the timings, I was still ploughing through the latter stages of Roads to Glory. It was Road to Glory Part 2, as the men's Royal Rumble was on. In fact, we were up to about number 25 by the time I was finishing, so I was kind of distracted, I admit. So that might have had something to do with it, but it could have been because I was tired, because it was about 2 o'clock in the morning UK time. That's something else that we have to face in this country, of course, is we're watching these events that you guys in the States are seeing live at 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, and for us it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't think that's changed. I don't think that would change my attitude much, to be quite honest. I still found it a bit mundane. I mean, I like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but I was happy that AJ Styles won because I like AJ Styles as well. Yeah, it was okay. It's not brilliant. I mean, a Royal Rumble for me is one of the big events of the year. Apart from, I'd probably say second to WrestleMania. Royal Rumble's the one I look forward to, with all the personal battles that go on, and you just never know who's going to turn up. But the feeling is it's just not delivering. It's not giving me what I wanted. Which brings me nicely back to WWE SuperCard. I need to know your opinions, people. I've already had plenty of comments from you on Twitter, so I've got a rough idea of what people are thinking. But I would like to know, how many of you actually tried for the second Road to Glory? Did you just try to see how far you could get? Did you have the ambition to try and get that heroic upgrade to your Goldberg card? Did you target something else, like just trying to get to Titan? I mean, I'll be honest, I thought I'll try and get that Taker card. I'll go for the Titan Taker card, and if I've got time, I'll try heroic mode, but I certainly didn't fancy the 1 point grind towards the back end. And what helped me was not only getting all those Monster Pros sorted so that my deck was slightly better, but getting that Stone Cold Steve Austin event card pro'd and getting that into my deck actually brought me up to Titan Plus. So I was able to 3-point most of that heroic mode, which was a blessed relief, I have to say. But yeah, I can't see me doing this longer term. I really can't, and it worries me. Big Jim's worried. It really worries me that there's so many nagging problems with the game. And everyone just, when we take to Twitter or when we're talking about it, and when even in the comments down below, there's a lot of whinging and there's a lot of complaining and there's a lot of griping, and you know, this should be a feel-good thing. We should be enjoying playing this game. This should be a feel-good factor. And this constant feeling that they're just inventing ways for people to spend more money on credits and things like that to try and double your picks and boost your enhancements and that kind of thing, without actually fixing some basics like PvP. The PvP on the second account, which I barely use, it's something I set up in season 1, but I just use it now and again for like testing a few things. PvP in that's not working. Thankfully it's working for me in my main account here, as you can see, so at least thank goodness for that, because there's plenty of you out there who are still suffering the problems. The King of the Ring wasn't working in my second account either, but that is now. That has actually been fixed. But, you know, overall, it's just, they need to sort out a lot of the basics, and this extra grind is, I feel, actually going to put more people off than it is going to encourage people to play even more. The idea of encouraging people to play more is not to just double the workload. That doesn't make it any more interesting or any more fun. It doesn't matter how fancy you make the graphics and what you do with them. It just doesn't work for me. And as I say, It makes it harder for us as well, us guys who do the few YouTube videos. I don't know who you guys follow. Let me know down below. I'd be quite interested actually. Who do you like to watch on YouTube? It makes it harder for us to be positive when we're coming on and we're talking about the game and we're trying to show you things when it's such a hard slog in itself. And we know all the problems that you're all suffering as well, because it gets to the point where you can't be like sounding the rally cry going, come on people, we've got to enjoy the game, if you're not genuinely enjoying it yourself right now. So no, that's just my feelings. So other people may feel completely differently. They might have really enjoyed doing 2 lots of Road to Glory over the weekend. They might enjoy the new enhancements. They might not care about some people's PvPs not working and all that kind of jazz. That's down to them, that's their opinion. I've told you my bit, now I want to know your bit. Let me know in the comments down below. So that's it for today. Thanks ever so much for watching, people. I've got my heroic bit. I've done it. I don't think I'm ever going to do it again. I'll try Ring Dom, because that's obviously a bit different. So I'll just try Ring Dom, see how that goes. But for future cards, I think it's going to be a big, don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, look, thank you ever so much for watching. Let me know what you've been up to down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Bung me a few likes if you can be bothered. Be very appreciative, because at least it shows that some people do watch this and some people do like it. And of course, for social media, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Twitter where all the banter is. And until I see you next time, you stay cool.